Never realized it, but until now, that's what made me more of a Lakers fan back then. This whole racial stuff. And I'm just being real.
What tripped me out was I'm riding in the limo and I'm seeing orange trees and lemon trees in people's front yards. I said, stop, I gotta go pick an orange. Are you crazy? I said, no, I gotta do this. And so I ran up like a scared little kid, grabbed the orange and ran back to the limo. I'd never seen an orange tree. I'd never seen a lemon tree. I was fascinated.
When 20-year-old Irvin Johnson arrived in Los Angeles in the fall of 1979, he was a world away from Lansing, the only home he'd ever known. He was the #1 pick of the LA Lakers, a once dominant franchise stuck in mediocrity. In the stoic Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Lakers had talent, was energy. Irvin Magic Johnson was only too happy to provide it.
Lit the place up. Changed the franchise, changed the temperament. I changed it from the very first game. Here it was, the first game of a long season against the lowly Clippers. And Magic was embracing Kareem as if
they want to chill.
Just won their 10th straight championship. It was like, man, this is a different kind of dude.
From the day he arrived, he became the prince of the city. He reminded me of a guy who wakes up without an alarm clock. And that's what I used to always say. I want to be happy enough to wake up without an alarm clock because I want to go into my work.
He had it, what it is. As far as I was concerned, the it was not his ability or his size. The it was his attitude, was his leadership, was his mind. I mean, I don't have to talk about Game 6 in Philadelphia.
Magic Johnson will show. In his rookie season, Magic had helped lead the Lakers to the NBA Finals against the Philadelphia 76ers. In Game 6, with an injured Abdul-Jabbar back home in LA, Magic played all 5 positions.
Dang.
42 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, and dished out 7 assists, leading the Lakers to the championship. In just
LeBron would have never.
4 years, he had won titles in high school, college, and the pros.
Magic, what do you have that makes you perform like this in these championship games?
Well, I don't know, just I love to win.
Across the masthead of the Los Angeles Times, and the next day it said, "It's Magic."
He was a star when he first arrived here, coming off the NC2A game. And quickly, during that first season, he became one of the stars in town. But that game put him on another level. That made him the star in town.
It's funny how I wanted to meet the celebrities, but they wanted to meet me. I was like shocked.
Michael Jackson.
Like, wow, you know who I am?
He was young, famous, and after Lakers owner Jerry Buss signed him to a 25-year, $25 million contract, very rich. The kid from Lansing was ready to sample a different kind of fruit. His playboy boss knew all the ripest trees.
I said, oh, I'm hanging with him. When they were coming into the box, and he had 10, 20 of them, and look, Irvin, which one you want? And I was like, oh, okay, it's like that? Then he said, I'm going to take you to the Playboy Mansion. What? The mansion?
Where's that?
No, you're kidding. I said, yeah. So I went there, and my first time, I'm bagging up like, I can't believe I'm in, but I'm bagging up away. You know, it's like, I'm scared to death. Probably 10 guys to 100 women, you know. Everybody think it's sex-driven, but it's really not. You have dinner, then you watch the latest movie. And then, of course, I don't want to ever say that sex wasn't involved.
Exactly. Yeah, we know.
That's what you need to do. You did that. But it's really a great experience to go up there. So, yeah, I had fun there.
He came to L.A. like the Pied Piper. people were giving him this and giving him that. But, he stayed pretty grounded to the game.
Everybody was getting high then, but you can't even smoke a joint around Magic.
He had real old school, down in the trenches work ethic.
Yeah.
And that was honed in him by his dad.
Yeah.
Irvin Johnson Sr.
Magic was always this guy. He never did none of that, so I did everything for him.
Dang.
Magic Johnson was living on a natural high. He was starring in the role of a lifetime, point guard of a Hollywood team with an offense called Showtime. He even had the alter ego perfect for the production.
I mean, Magic was his stage name. Even he would laugh about it.
Any of y'all, let me know in the comments if y'all checked out that, I think it's on HBO as well, that little docu-series they did, or little mini-series, I guess you call it, they did, called Showtime Lakers, I think it is. Just let me know if y'all check that out. I'm assuming not too many people liked it, because no one has asked me to react to that one, thank God. But whoever wrote that,
Well, he always says there's two people. There's Irvin Johnson from East Lansing, and there's Magic Johnson from Hollywood.
Irvin Johnson is another guy. Here's Magic over here and here's Irvin over here.
Irvin is this fun-loving guy. Magic was so serious and dedicated to his game, and he was a crazy competitor and a crazy man.
Irvin, I think, is the smiling kid from Lansing. I think Irvin died about 25 minutes after the NCAA championship game.
Irvin doesn't have the
Dang.
ego that Magic has. Magic got a crazy ego, and winning is everything.
And Irvin wanted to, along with Magic, conquer LA.
After having led the Lakers to 2 NBA titles in their first 4 years in town, Magic and Irvin were well on their way.
alter egos are real. They really are.
I think Magic wanted to be friends with Larry Bird. He wanted to be friends with him on the World Invitational Tournament, and Larry just wasn't very receptive. I think he wanted to be friends with him during the Final Four. Larry wouldn't even go over and shake his hand. So now Magic's saying, well, what's with this guy? Everybody loves me. How come you don't love me? And then they get to their rookie year, the first time they play each other, they have a very hard foul. And they have to be separated a little bit. And Magic's like, all right, well, the heck with this guy. You don't like me? Fine. All right, good. I don't like you either.
He's a very competitive player, and I'm a very competitive player, and we go head to head, and we go for blood almost.
The vibe was nasty. It was ugly. It was we didn't like each other.
I'm the one that did all that. To tell you the truth, it was. I just want to be hanging around him. That's my main competition.
And he couldn't escape the memory of losing to him in 1979.
Oh, it ate at him bad that he didn't win that national title against Magic. That was something that just burned him.
It was one thing for them to be in the 79 championship. Magic had the better team. Everybody agreed with that. Magic had the better game. Fine. Now you get to the pros. Larry has this incredible year. But there he is watching in a club while Magic Johnson wins a championship, and he's thinking, all right, I'm behind 2-0 now.
Yeah, I watched that game and I couldn't believe it. I always wanted to play at that level.
But what Bird couldn't possibly have known was that he had inspired Magic's performance when he was named Rookie of the Year earlier that same day.
The PR person from the Lakers says, hey, Irvin, the Rookie of the Year voting has come out. And Magic says, okay, well, who won? He said, well, Larry Bird won. And Magic says, well, was it close? And he said, oh, no.
63-3.
He went out that day, yes, to try to win the NBA championship, but also to prove it to one Larry Bird. You know what? I should have been Rookie of the Year.
Even though I won the championship, I still wanted to win Rookie of the Year too.
Yeah.
He won that championship. I was pissed. I won one.
But even after he had won one the next year, his obsession only grew deeper.
I'd get up in the mornings and see what he did because their games came on late. Then you look at the box score. I had to have him there for something.
Motivation.
Like a crutch. Somebody to compare myself to.
I hated what was being said that Larry was better than me, and I'm just a guy who can control the game. My first 4 or 5 years, that bothered me a lot. I didn't tell nobody it bothered me, but it did.
Their competitive dislike emerged from a greater truth, that on the court, they were doppelgangers. Team-oriented stars who cared about winning above all else. Basketball savants who fused the substance of the 60s with the style of the 70s to create a new and exciting yet selfless way to play the game in the 1980s.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. But I'm gonna pass in a way to make you look like a jackass. They were so similar in the way
Both
they
of
played.
them.
I mean, they were two halves of the same brain.
Same craziness to excel.
I seen that first couple days I was with him.
Basketball IQ off the chart.
Seen the game a little different, most players.
Playing the game the right way was everything.
A lot of guys can just score, a lot of guys can just rebound. A lot of guys can just make plays. We can do it all.
Larry and Magic could control the game with 12 shots. It was amazing. They'd be 7 for 12. They'd have 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. And you go, man, the guy shot the ball 12 times and was the best player on the court by far.
I think it was tough at first. I don't think either one of them wanted to recognize that they had any equal anywhere in what they did. But they sure as hell didn't want to recognize that their equal happened to be that other guy.
That's why we hated each other too, because we knew we were mirrors of each other.
I think for a while the two of them had to come to grips with that.
It's hard to prove who the best in their mind when they look over and like, dang, this dude just like me. How am I ever gonna compete with that? That's pretty deep. Never thought about it like that, but that's what they went through.
They had begun changing the game, but with continued low television ratings and tape-delayed finals, the league was struggling to get the word out. When the NBA and CBS signed a new TV deal before the 82-83 season, the rescue plan was simple. Sell more Bird and Magic, and sell them not just as ball players, but as arch-rival characters in their own dramatic saga.
You got this slick Showtime African-American guy out west, and you got the lunch bucket, floppy-haired white guy with the bruises all over his body. It's central casting. It's perfect. I mean,
somebody put in the comments that Bird was told to stop doing all that, going all out, diving on the floor, and to get, the possessions, to keep possessions alive. And just the way he's all over the floor and just beating himself up, and that he wasn't going to be able to, walk, or, that he just needed to stop doing that. I forget what the whole scenario was. But he said no. When he's out there, he's giving it his all. Because I know he ended up having back injuries, all kind of stuff, and he still didn't stop. Wow, he's a tough cookie.
And this was like made in heaven. In 1979, this idea of Magic and Bird was created. And so that was sort of a no-brainer. We'd have a doubleheader. It would be the Celtics playing first and the Lakers playing second. And that's the way we did it.
And when the Celtics and Lakers both reached the finals just a year into the new TV deal in 1984, it appeared the superstar investment was about to pay off.
It was huge. It was probably the biggest moment the NBA had up to that point. You had Boston and LA, East against West. It had all the elements of a classic showdown.
Including what was becoming the most inescapable element of all.
Did we know that blacks and whites were lining up? The whites with the Celtics, the blacks with... Of course we knew that. Even in the Celtics' own backyard.
I never realized it, but until now, that's what made me more of a Lakers fan back then, this whole racial stuff. And I'm just being real. And if a lot of older blacks were to admit it, they'd say the same thing, that, yeah. So, because even like when I would meet black people that were Celtics fans, I was like, what? You like the Celtics? So this is pretty deep that, narratives and stuff are pushed to make you change your mind about something that you really have. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I didn't have a dog in the fight. I'm from Atlanta. I'm a Hawks fan. Why was I pulling for the Lakers so hard? Because Larry and Bird,
They land at Logan Airport at the 84 finals. He's getting accosted by various people who are telling him Larry's going to take him down. But this one older African American gentleman comes up to me and goes, Magic, I want to wish you well, good luck. I want you to crush the Celtics. And he said, oh, well, where are you from? He said, well, I'm from Boston. And he said, you're from Boston and you're rooting for the Lakers? I thought everybody here was crazy about the Celtics. And he looked right at me and said, now why would I root for those white boys?
I'm telling you, that was a narrative back
Boston,
then.
after all, was a town still scarred by the ugly busing crisis of the mid-70s. A violent period of urban unrest, during which white had been pitted against black. The resulting taint on the city nationally, coupled with a Boston roster littered with white players, affirmed to many black Americans that the Celtics were not the team for them.
Even today, people said, you played with the Celtics, and you know I hated you at that time. You know, I wanted Magic to win. I didn't want that damn Larry Bird to win. We had all these black players, but they looked at us because we had Larry Bird leading us as a team that was white.
They were perfect archetypes for what was becoming the biggest story in sports. But for the real-life players, the narrative was much simpler.
It's finally going to happen. We get to go head-to-head again. It's just a matter of rolling that ball out there and let's get it on.
Welcome then to the Boston Garden and the start of the NBA World Championship Series. I'm Brent Musburger. In each of the last 4 NBA World Championship Series, either Magic or Bird has competed. But this is the first time that the two have gone head-to-head for the title.
Man, we jumped out on them that first game, and we won in Boston.
And with less than a minute to go in Game 2, the Lakers were closing in on a commanding series lead.
From that point on, things began to crumble.
Down to 9 seconds. Magic rolls the ball. Magic trying to work on Maxwell. Magic has still got it down to 2 seconds. 1 second. He's going to have to shoot it.
Cheesy Johnson drilling the timeout. What are you doing?
The Lakers regained their stride in Game 3, only to be rudely knocked off it again in Game 4.
Kurt Rambis. Man, look at him. He ready to fight. Joker ready to fight.
When Kurt Rambis got taken out, we started fighting instead of playing.
Got in their head.
And it made us realize we were not mentally tougher than the Celtics.
Exactly.
Magic's just not himself.
I'm sure they won't let the time run out as they did in Game 2. Harris steals the ball and the Celtics.
Dang.
There were a number of places where, Irvin didn't do what people expected him to do.
Tied at 123.
He gonna miss it.
He misses the first. Johnson misses the move. Celtics want a timeout. Respondent, Magic Johnson goes to the bench. Bird.
Wait.
Game 5 went to the Celtics. Game 6 to the Lakers. It was like
Gotta go back
1979
to the Garden.
again, down to 1 game for Bird and Magic.
If everybody had to look at it, probably would say this is going to be a 7-game series.
I thought we'd sweep him in 4. But, a little bit longer than we said in 7.
That's the only time I ever felt that. Ain't no way they're walking over to win. No way.
Dang. Oh my God.
The Lakers trying to cut it to 1.
Man, Pat.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions.
myself in being the guy who's going to win it for us and deliver under pressure. And it didn't happen.
I hope he was hurt. Hope he killed him. Made some bad plays down the stretch, and nobody in there was happier than me. You know, not only winning the game makes you feel good, but just knowing the other guy suffered, and you know he was.
I remember after the game that both he and I were in the shower crying and stayed in there for about 35, 40 minutes. It was hard because not only had we lost to the Boston Celtics, he had lost.
He got to look on his face like he got a boo-boo.
I think he just made me dislike him more, you know, because he was that good. And I think you'd be jealous. You're jealous a little bit.
Larry, does this get you even with
20 and 20.
between Michigan State, Indiana State, all those many years ago? Yeah, we're professionals now, but I won this one for Terre Haute.
Well, it was a big deal, and I remember asking Quinn Buckner about it afterwards. They had a celebration in downtown Boston after they won the championship, and, you know, it was unusual for Larry to have these little outbursts, as Quinn would call them. But, you know, about 11:30 at night, finally he turned to Quinn, he goes, I got him. Finally got him. And he was talking about Magic.
Sweet.
The league was rejoicing too. Game 7 of the '84 series was one of CBS's highest-rated telecasts of the year, and the highest-rated game the NBA had ever produced.
All of a sudden, whether it was at CBS or Madison Avenue, the sports writers around the country became phenomenal. What is happening here? The absolute foundation of his resurgence was the Celtics and the Lakers, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
But Magic was in no mood to bask in the accomplishment.
I took a media beating. Tragic Magic. This is why we say Larry Bird is better. It's probably the first time ever in my life I was depressed. And I didn't want people to see me. It was something I never dealt with in my life.
That particular series, that championship series, redefined his whole career because he never stopped working after that.
Magic was on a mission to prove to himself and the world that with the ball in his hands, he was still the one in control. And after his Lakers ran through the '85 season, he quickly got what he wanted. Another shot at Bird and the Celtics.
They won the East, we won the West. So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
But that smile belied the intensity of the clash that awaited.
Yo, I had a glass of water, and any of those guys had been on fire.
Hey, Johnson.
I would drink the water and watch them.
When they called us, chokers and sissies, we didn't like that, and they thought less of us. I knew they did.
Look at Bird.
For some reason, I don't know why they scheduled that.
Who was that? Joker, you just got bodied by Bird. Who was that?
We didn't like that, and they thought less of us.
Is that cool? Number 21, I don't know.
Exhibition season for some reason, I don't know why they scheduled that. By the fourth game, there was an all-out brawl.
They call this one of the greatest rivalries in all of sport, the Celtics and the Lakers. And if that is true, it is the most one-sided rivalry in all of sports. 8 times these two have met for the NBA championship, and 8 times...
I'm not gonna lie, that's what the NBA need, though. They need a good rivalry. I don't know who that can be. I know Trae Young tries to rival with the Knicks, but it ain't. You know what I mean? They're just different. The young folks just different today. They just don't have all that fire in them, and I don't know. Everybody want to be buddies, but they need a good rivalry, a really good one. I can't think of one that's going on right now. You would think the Warriors could get one with Draymond, because he don't like that Rudy Gobert boy. I don't know. I would love to see a good rivalry, though. I really, really would. Tell me in the comments if you can think of some teams that it would be a really, really good rivalry. I'm just curious.
Times the Celtics have won.
That card is 6th year for Michigan State and number 32, Magic Johnson.
Hey, boy.
In the '85 finals, Magic changed the script. Over 6 grueling games, he masterfully controlled the pace with all-around brilliance.
Picked them apart. Got him scratching their head.
The Lakers finally knocked out the Celtics, winning the clinching game in the Boston Garden.
3 in 6 years. LA comes to
Kareem was my favorite, though. I love Kareem. I like Magic, too. Yeah.
redemption for one Magic Johnson. It's a long year last year to wait for this moment right now.
Magic had evened the score with Bird on the NBA floor, but the significance of their rivalry and their relationship was still just taking hold.
All right, guys, so that was the end of part 2 of the Courtship of Rivals with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Part 2 really dove into all the racism stuff that the media tried to, successfully reeled a lot of us into, me included, brought back memories of what my thought process was of the Celtics and why I really don't like the Celtics today. Never really thought deep into that, but watching this film made me realize that I sold into that media propaganda of the racism, that the Celtics fans were racist, Celtics, Boston, that whole area were racial people, and that I needed to go for the Lakers and Magic Johnson because he was black, and that whole thing. Again, thanks to those of you that suggested that we reviewed this. Had a really good time watching it, but that's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and as always, stay safe. On to the next one. Peace.